I'm delighted to announce that we have Jonah Barrington with us today to officially open the facilities. Jonah's record places him amongst one of the all-time great sportsmen. 6 British Open titles in 7 years, 3 British amateur titles, and former world #1. Jonah virtually single-handedly lifted squash from an obscure pastime into one of the most popular worldwide sports. His legendary duels with Australian Jeff Hunt within the white-walled prison cell of a playing area were fiercely contested for many an hour without any acrimony. Jonah's substantial contribution to British sport was duly acknowledged in 1969 when he was awarded an MBE. Ladies and gentlemen, Jonah Barrington.
Mary, Venetia, Darryl, ladies and gentlemen, all the very young people of whom I'm extraordinarily envious today. There are a lot of you who are in a similar position to myself, I'm glad to say. Tim couldn't make it. We all know the reason, and we are very relieved that he couldn't. Greg could, but his invitation was rescinded prior to the weekend. Although those of us who have been there ourselves realise that these blips can happen, and forgiveness doubtless will follow from the great community at large. So I'm here, ladies and gentlemen, and I have not been back in Cheltenham for nearly 46 years. I was at school here. That is probably the reason why I haven't come back for 46 years. There were some very good memories, but they were primarily outside of school. One particularly so because it was here, not at East Glos, because there were no squash courts then, that I actually had my first squash lesson from Major Millman of the 040 Club. And I think that his wife is here today, Elizabeth. As you get older, it's always quite emotional when you reflect on the real memories. That was an amazing memory because he was a very remarkable man. And my first lesson I will always remember from him to my dying day. And it opened the door for me to play a wonderful sport, and many wonderful sports that we have in this country, that took me with far more education after school than I had during school, which was probably my own fault. It was a marvellous, wonderful experience to be involved in sport, which I am today. One of the byproducts of this is that I'm rarely seen in a suit. So this was a problem, Mary, for me. And I spoke to Rob Shepherd about it, and he said that he would cast around with the, obviously your well-heeled membership here, and he would put a suit in the changing room for me, so I could, so it fits very well. So I'm very grateful to whoever provided the suit. Sport is the most fantastic thing. We all know this, and we all know the many reasons and have debated the many reasons why things have not gone so well in our respective sports. To come in this morning through and see all those kids playing, and yesterday I heard how many were playing and on the courts, and to have had the youngsters on the squash court today who totally stitched me up, I have to say. You know, that essentially is what it is all about. It is something that we have neglected through government after government after government, but I've said to a number of people today that it really is now the responsibility of local clubs, whether they be rugby, tennis, squash, football, cricket, you name it. It's the responsibility of clubs now to take on board the development of all our sports, because so many schools are just not in a position to do so, and I would doubt will ever again be in a position to do so. So it's clubs like these, Glos. If this was mirrored, ladies and gentlemen, all around the country, we would not be struggling for, at the one end, another player in the second week of Wimbledon. And on the other end, we would not be struggling in the way that we are with youngsters and their leisure interests, because you provide sport and opportunity for youngsters, and at whatever level they play, it is the ultimate therapy. Ultimate therapy takes kids off the streets, gets them away from all the things that are hazardous, and that is what we want. And I think this weekend, I haven't seen, as I said yesterday, but today, Mary and Daryl, this shows what can be done. And I do hope that with the good offices of the LDA, which always, as all governing bodies, is blasted from pillar to post and doubtless will continue to be so, it's very rare that the governing body gets the plaudits. But as you've heard today, the input of the LTA has been absolutely massive. And I'm sure that that is a proposition that is going to be responded to around the country, and I do hope so. It is a very great privilege for me to come here, to join you today, albeit maybe not the first choice or the second choice. In fact, I think it was the 53rd choice, but that's after you, Mary. But that in itself is almost a triumph at this stage of my life, which still remains, as I said, entirely in sport. It therefore gives me great pleasure not only to congratulate all of you for what you have done to bring to fruition what is taking place here today and what will happen in the future, but also to hopefully open without hindrance the actual facilities that have been presented to you. What normally happens, ladies and gentlemen, at this stage is that I pull something and nothing happens, and then there is a surge of embarrassment on behalf of me and everybody else. Thank you very much again, and great good fortune to you all in sport over the next period of time. Thank you.
Do it together. We do it